Chapter 8. The Girl with the Mullet. Sometimes I'd like to pretend I'm the main character in a book. My mom and dad and sisters and Rebecca are all characters too. And Mrs. Jones maybe. And Mr. Vaughn, my teacher. And the other kids in my class, but I'm the main character. I'm the one who explains everything that's happening in my own voice. The one that things are happening to. The only problem is, the best books aren't the ones where stuff just happens to the main character. The best books are the ones where a main character does something, like run away to the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And that's why I could never really be the main character in a book. I never do anything. I stuck my bookmark in from the mixed up files right at the point where Claudia and Jamie collect $2.87 in coins from the restaurant and fountain in the museum, and washed out the window of the bus as it took me to school. I had already read all the way through my new copy of From the Mixed Up Files once already before I went to bed. We stopped at Rebecca's house and she flopped down in the seat next to me. "How was the school board meeting?" she asked. I shrugged. "You would have liked it. They said make a motion and I second that a lot." "Robert's Rules of Order," Rebecca said. "That's what they're called. It was written by Robert somebody or other." No kidding, I thought, but I didn't say so. "Did you read the thing you wrote?" Rebecca asked. I looked out the window. No. "Amy Ann, you worked on that all week." I shrugged. "Mrs. Jones talked though, right? What happened?" "Nothing. All the books are still banned." Rebecca saw the book in my hand. "Well, isn't that one of them?" "Yeah, my dad bought it for me." Rebecca took the book from me and looked at the cover. "You're all the time talking about what a great book this is. What's so bad about it?" "Nothing," I told her. "That lady says it teaches kids to lie and steal and cheat, but they don't do any of that stuff." Only now that I thought about it, they do lie about running away to the museum, and Jamie does cheat at cards, and I guess you could call it stealing when they take the coins from the fountain. "Well, they kind of do, I guess," I said. Rebecca's eyes lit up. "Cool, can I read it?" I was surprised. All the times I'd talked about From the Mixed Up Files, Rebecca had never once been interested in reading it. Until now. "Okay," I said. I pulled my bookmark out and gave it to her. "Oh, only don't lose it." Rebecca looked pleased with herself. She started flipping through it to look at the pictures. I grabbed the book and closed it. "Don't look ahead, you'll spoil it." Danny Purcell leaned out over the back of our seat. "Hey, are you guys talking about the books? Trey's mom got banned?" Rebecca blushed the way ladies do around my dad. She liked Danny, although she never said so. But sometimes when I was talking to her in class and I realized she wasn't listening, it was always because she was staring at Danny. I didn't get it. Danny was nice and all. He was good at sports and gym class, but all he really seemed to care about was his hair. He had a big football helmet of hair that he wore down to his eyes like the frosting on a cupcake, and he was all the time combing it down with his fingers to make sure it was swirling the right way. "I saw the list in the newspaper," Danny said. "You read the newspaper?" I thought, but I didn't say it. "I read that list," Danny said, "and I realized I know one of these books, like not from class. It took me a while, and I remembered why. We own one of them. It's on this bookshelf in my house. It's been there like forever." I perked up. "Which one?" Danny threw his head back to flick his hair into place. "Something about waiting for a girl. I don't remember. The cover has this girl with a mullet talking to a ghost." "What's a mullet?" I asked. "It's when your hair's short in the front and the sides but long in the back," Danny explained. The hair expert. "Girls don't wear mullets," Rebecca said. "Well, this one does." I tried to remember the other books on the list. "Is it Wait Till Helen Comes?" "That's it," Mom said. It was like her favorite book when she was a kid. Man, I hope she never had a mullet. That is not a good look. Wait Till Helen Comes was one of the books on the list I hadn't read. "Can I borrow it?" I asked. Rebecca and Danny both looked at me in surprise. Sure. Yeah, I'll bring it tomorrow." Rebecca looked lasers at me like I was interested in Danny too. "Just want to read the book," I told her. "I want to read it too," she told Danny. I squinted at her. Did she really want to read it, or was she just saying that because it was Danny? Danny shrugged. Oh, okay, sure. I'll bring it tomorrow. You can read it after me, Rebecca, I told her. You've got From the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweller to read first. Why do you guys care so much? Danny asked. Are these books really good or something? They have to be, Rebecca told him. Why else do you think they banned them? It took a few seconds, but the truth of that finally got through Danny's thick helmet of hair. He nodded. Yeah. I bet they're full of good stuff, like all those channels my parents block on TV. You can borrow this one when I'm finished with it, Rebecca said, waving From the Mixed Up Files under his nose. Now it was my turn to shoot lasers from my eyes. Who said she could loan out my books to other people? All right, cool, Danny said, and he sat back in his seat. I lifted my hands at Rebecca as if to say, what gives? But she just blushed again. Whatever. At least now I could be sure she'd actually read it. The bus pulled up to the school and I hauled my backpack into the aisle. That's when I saw who'd been sitting in the seat in front of us. It was Trey. He must have gotten on while I wasn't watching. How long had he been sitting there? Had he heard us talking about his mom and the banned books? Had he heard me loaning mine out and asking to borrow Danny's? Trey flipped a sketch pad closed, put it in his backpack, and slid out past me. He gave me a quick look as he went by, but he didn't say a word. What was that supposed to mean? That he had heard us? Was he going to rat us out to his mom? Danny nudged me along and I followed. Trey off the bus. I was being stupid. So what if we were reading the books Trey's mom had banned from the library? They weren't library books, they were our books. And nobody but my parents could tell me what books I could and couldn't read. Miss Jones has said so. Which gave me an idea.